Okay. Uh, this is my own little exercise, to really grasp what are we dealing with here in AI, and if you don't really understand it, I really think it just comes off as parlor tricks, like magic tricks, like how when electricity was first introduced, it was like just basically those cool shows that just dazzles people, but no one sees how it changes, how transformative it is. First of all, AI, I don't, I don't. Hmm, no. Well, yeah, but it's not graphics. What should I call it really? It's not that. It's neural network computing. Oh no, you know what? It is AI. I'm sorry. That term isn't bad. Actually, that's exactly what it is. I'm not gonna go into the grain here. When I reflect upon it, it's yeah, okay. AI is transformative. Yes. Scale, internet, semiconductor, as I posted. Yep. Most definitely greater than smartphones. Smartphones are just a. They're just. They revolutionize the way people consume media, but not really the way they're produced. Like production on a smartphone is usually limited, right? And it's usually heavily assisted by something. I mean, imagine all the great, all things people make. Like if you want to make something like a short vid, or just basically a recording, photos, it's good. But what if you move to movies? What if you move to like entire an application, like basically a program? What if you move to art, like um, any kind of like a graphic design, right? You got a lot of problems. The screen's too small, input method too limited. So listen, I really think like the process was human tool through a tool. It makes output, and now AI comes here. Now, good or bad? Wait, human. He uses his cognitive ability, right? Plus tool is output. Right, exactly, right. So AI is here. I think the mistake is thinking that okay, AI is strictly just here. The mistake is to think that AI is this. It is not. It can't actually it can be. The idea this is where it gets kind of weird. Like okay, I'll put both. Like you could it can stretch that. That's the question. Is this parenthesis right here, right here, right here. This is the important one. How far does it like stretch, right? So right now it's still very much of a tool stage. Okay, so if your cog contributed little and tool has been mega upgraded, your cog is no longer needed. You're gone. That's it. Why? You don't do anything, right? I mean, like, it's not, I mean, right? But if you, I can only speak in terms of programming and what it, what, oh, it's too hard to explain. There's too many, my brain's going in overdrive. It's really hard. Like, I have been able, okay, let's say what happened in one day. Record button audio goes in, auto transcription, audio buffer of 22.1 kilohertz plus transcription goes out to object painted on UI. What is it again? Auto implementation trim normalize functions. Okay. Also, user authentication, identifying a user in an author object, defaulting to guest when absent, populating a UI with data, specifying relevant data. Oh yeah, okay, and with the requirement feed JSON, feed what is it? Structured JSON for sidecar data. Let's see, relevant data to record. UI scaffolding to support editing of user objects. Then the hard part would be linking what they call provenance of data to ensure every object created in this space has a link to its author, and we can tell with little from sidecar if data matches author or someone else. Okay, so this is what I call a complex task. Okay, so you think the argument, oh, we're all doomed. AI will just make all the programs for us. Not really, because when you, let's say this problem set right here, which I just did, it almost fills the entire conversation buffer that Xcode allows. In other words, this problem on its own is almost too big, needs to be deconstructed atomically. The conversation buffer is actually equivalent to the memory of the AI model. So you learn about it. Why does NVIDIA pursue FP8, FP4? Default is actually FP16. And beautiful analogy. Did you know that universal things related to humans are generally 16-bit? People, this is a shocker. Audio 16-bit, color each 16-bit for each like, for example, brightness, color domain. It's insane actually, this one. All data, all human related bandwidth falls generally within a 16-bit range. 16-bit defines hearing for humans, determines amplitude. This is insane. This is a universal cool thing. So, it's crazy. FP12, 32, which is what GTX 180 is limited to with GPU compute, actually a detriment. The extra accuracy becomes noise that amplifies over time, increasing chaos. So that's actually really interesting. FP16, while seemingly less accurate, its lack of accuracy, apparently like the rounding effect, supposedly, actually produces more stochastic effect especially in relation to human perception. It's really interesting. Um, so right now, I think it was the Ampere series, grade FP16, and then the tensors, usually 1D tensors, string of FP16 values. These are what computes go against. Those tensors are represent 16 bits because that's the range of a lot of things. Like it doesn't mean like everything. It can be 32. It can be 8. It can be whatever you want. But FP8 is actually the FP8 is with newer series like Blackwell, I think, and Rubin. But it's more about the halving of memory requirements, and of course more speed. So driven by billion gajillion parameter models like GPT that no longer really fit in reasonable memory space with FP16. So that's why FP8 is trying its best to emulate FP16 without downsides. Very knees deep in AI compute. Okay, everyone get that? I think I lost everybody already. Okay. So that's why, if you know why gaming and that, because 8 gigs of VRAM generally enough for games, any game at 2K, 4K, but think usually more interesting the inference, the AI task, larger VRAM required. Humans have, was it 1 trillion? I forgot. I think it was like 10 trillion synapse. Right now, GPT at like GPT at 10 bill, 100 bill. So 100x factor left to go. However, it's not really 1-to-1. Not really 1-to-1, but close analogy. That's really interesting, actually. You can actually measure human synapses count as a way of saying parameter count. So, problems, extremely difficult problems, don't fit in VRAM. Also don't fit in synapse. So what you do, break problem down. Classic conquer divide. So if you go back to, let's say, all these things. So I've for the program I did all of this in one day, which is actually insane. This would typically take a month. So I would measure, honestly, it's at least 30x faster software production. It works because I know what I want to make specifically. I can imagine it in my synapses. Synapse definition, transform to coding language, code. The transform used to be type, public void gera. No, don't need that anymore. This intermediary language generated more effectively by AI. So it's an accelerator of your processes. Why would you want to write it like this anymore, right? So it's like compression of, I can't explain it. So a record button, sorry, all these things, you break them down into like atomic tasks. I guess what you can do say is that making a record button is also a task that takes you like 2 hours. Not really 2 hours. If it was back in the early the 2008 iPhone era, making a button could take you 2 hours. I'm not joking. So you'd have to make the record button, and now that's automated, right? Because this task, each one, is synaptically simple. Therefore, the model, AI model, to make it to do this is doable. Okay, what is not doable is a synaptic model that does all this for you on a simple request. By the way, you can't do that because you can't define, you can't summarize it even, you can't encode it in English language anyway. Think of the AI as a translator of intent, of creation, and it is the intermediary that produces the code that then produces the compiled result, the program, the exe. It's difficult to understand. I don't understand it fully. I understand it a lot more than normal people do, and I'm speaking like a machine because I'm not focused on presentation right now. I'm speaking on like unpack brain fastest. I can pretend to be cool like this, but you know, when you talk like that, it's because it's simple. Like, it's not simple. It's like a lot of your brain's focused on how you look, and that's synaptically complex. But that's why I don't have a camera. I'm not aware of how I look. So, anyway, this is synaptically simple. That's doable by AI now. This is also synaptically more complex, but also do by barely. GPT-5 can do this. GPT-4 can do this. That is what the now can it do all three? If you were able to describe that in this entire task in English, which would be a very long sentence. So, like, for example, to compact all this in one request requires you to write a very long request, right? So, like, if you could break it down each one, like each atomic step, the requirement of the model is lesser and lesser. The more you want to batch it into one huge request, the harder it gets, right? So, like, as a human, you have an intent of creation. If you make a fuzzy request, make me something. Like, it's so fuzzy. The more clear you are, the more you define what you want, the more it can help you. So actually, the problem is people don't know what they really want. Or they do know what they want, but they have no idea what the implementation looks like. Now, the AI is great because it can actually give you the industry standard for how it's implemented. And if you're a software engineer guy, you know following your own method is only good if you know what the fuck you're doing. Like, you have some really big competitive edge because there's no art into the creation, really. I mean, the method of create. Like, there's no art. Like, when you say, make me a concrete pillar, are you going to get artful with how you create that concrete? That's not good. You might collapse the whole pillar. Like, you want best practices. Now, how it looks on the outside, you can decorate that whatever you want. But the rebar and concrete, you don't want to fuck around with this. Do you have a better idea? Unless you're a structural engineer and have some breakthrough method on how to make a pillar that satisfies constraints, there's no way you're going to stick around with this. That's what AI does. It will make that pillar for you if you intend it, right? So you don't have to go in like pouring concrete anymore. It's like it just comes out of nowhere. Because it's doable, it's repeatable. The process of making concrete is known enough that it can be compressed into a method. That's what I'm trying to talk about. So you have to bring that analogy to code. Like, it will scaffold your code quickly if you know what you're doing. Now, if you don't know what you're doing, you're saying, yo, make me a house that's really nice. You know what the domain of that is? The domain of houses that look nice is really crazy, and the chance that any given one matches what you want is very, very bad. So, like, that's a really selfish and very dumb and very, I think, noobish kind of request that people might think is suitable for AI. It's not. Okay? It's really not. You want to sit there and you want the AI to generate all kinds of nice houses, and you just say, yeah, I like that one. I want that one, mama. That's really silly. You should go to the AI with a clear knowledge of what you want, and then you define it, and then it generates it for you. It helps generate person. Hard to explain. So anyway, it's complicated. By the way, doing programming at 30x speed, while it's a one hell of an adrenaline rush, I feel really mentally drained. Like, the neurons activation is far. Like, look, you tell me make a button, that's so easy. I can do that while, like, looking at it, watching TV. But when I'm trying to imagine how to properly architect a proper user authentication system, that's not that easy because there's many like linking parts, dependencies that break and do this and do that. If you don't have this, you can do it. You just have to scaffold it slowly. And the problem you'll get, at least from a one developer perspective, is that you start making shortcuts because it's too complicated. Like if you want to make this would introduce like JWT. What the fuck is this? But I read about it, vaguely understand it. It looks like it's some kind of token. I think some kind of token. So like when you have I use an app, but because I'm not gonna provide my credentials that quickly, the app can't ID me, so the app doesn't know who's operating it. And then if it's a creation app, then how do we know who made what? Make sense? That task is enormously difficult. I mean, not enormously. It's quite difficult. And if you are like just looking at a blank screen, the code, how do you code this? Do you know how awful that feels? Class, user, profile. This shit is so boring. Like, it's just like boilerplate code, okay? Now, what goes in it, you better have a good idea, though. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to like knock down the AI is poo-poo or AI is stupid or AI is politics or AI is hype. It's not hype. It's transformative, at least in this domain. Now, the thing is that's not where it stops. You see, you already have examples where it generates videos on demand. AI will brutally reveal if you were just really offering quote-unquote low neural complexity work to society. It will reveal you like it will replace you. If you have high neural... Look at Social Network. I was watching it with the AI, honestly, and you will notice all kinds of crazy shit. Let's say in a movie like Social Network, why it's so good. It's like you could not summarize the entirety of Social Network, the movie, in a paragraph. You can summarize what happened in it, but if you then take that summary and make a movie out of it, cheap shit comes out. You don't appreciate the music that goes in it, the direction from Fincher, how they line up shots, the pacing, the cutting, the color correction. These all matter, and people say don't matter, and just like I don't understand them. I don't my whole life. You don't feel it. The high signal ratio in the movie. I don't know. It's insane. Like, it's meticulous. It's meticulous. Everything, Why does Eisenberg have that kind of seething look the whole time? The framing of how it establishes motive at the beginning when you see him get, basically like rejected by Erica Albright, and then he's framed as wanting to get. I can't explain it. You see, it's hard. Like, you understand that great art is great because it's semantically rich. Like, I always felt that, but you always get put down by jocks, the guys with big muscle, and get all the sex, and like they don't really think hard because they don't have to. And the girls, same thing. All the pretty ones don't have to think that hard. But then, like, when you go knees deep into it, it's quite deep, right? Like, to make an amazing movie, like the good ones, all of them, you can't compress them. You can't zip up the movie and let AI just make another one. It won't work. Okay. So it's all over the place. What's a TLDR, right? People want TLDR. NVIDIA is going to 1,000. It takes 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, inevitable. Only thing you have to worry about is some catastrophe fucking thing, okay? Right now, maybe priced for high hype, but I don't think, like, when you say what's hype, you can't, it's hard to scale that. An event like this could be 100,000, 10,000 times. We don't even know. No one knows. Yeah. And I mean, I'm reviewing, like, I'll excited about SK Hynix because they're underrated. This is more of a performance, like a PE ratio trade. It's not really like the core player is NVIDIA. I played around with the stack, AI stack. You know how hard to set up a AI development stack at home. It's quite hard if you don't have, like, if you're not in a loop. Okay, it's a lot of shell. Basically, AI developers, they look at Bash, Python, You have Conda from NVIDIA. You have like you need to know like editors like Micro or whatever Emacs or Vim, whatever your favorite one. You have to know a little bit of maybe some kind of because usually they pipe it like they code on a Mac, but the real like modeling is done on another Linux machine. That's dedicated towards like modeling and like inference and stuff. So you might need to know like how to internetwork like with like SSH and SCP and this is the AI stuff. It's basically you're back to the like 80s when you want to make a program like an if else program and no IDE and you want to just like you need to go back to basics, right? So people who have knowledge about shells, Unix, that kind of thing, basically CLI people have massive advantage. There's no GUI. There's very limited GUI tools, but unlike before, they will come quick for sure. I mean, there are already some prototype IDs, but it changed too fast, right? You got to test new environments, cutting edge. You have to know at least I think pip, and pip is big. Like how to create a valid AI dev environment. This is very hard. It's very hard. Forget the coding of the you got to create that. It's really hard. So it's a paradigm shift. I would recommend don't spend too much time learning traditional if-else logic coding. Definitely, I have a data set that's worth a lot, but no one talk about it. You have to understand data sets. Data set projects are like Xcode projects. They're like that. You have to understand signal processing. You have to understand metadata versus sampling. You have to understand, and then when you're tuning an AI model, it's a whole different science. It's not beep, boop, beep, you're done. Not even close. It's more analog in a way. You can lose the training if chaos expands. Like terminology like collapse is very important. You want to collapse and stochastic. This is very important. Like these terms become more and more important in the AI world. You have to understand like signals, and I don't even understand them that well. I just have a rough idea. So I think what it does, AI takes some unfleshed out and fleshes it out. Helps a lot with this. Helps with investing. I made great trades. I've made. If you want to be as the crude money guy, I'm not too. I mean, ever since I started, I invest with confidence, not speculation or fear. I feel I have an edge. Not short term. That's not good. I don't know. I don't do short term trading. I do investing. Just I don't have to check every 5 minutes because I know my thesis is sound. Regression. Nobody knows if the next crisis coming around the corner. Nobody knows that, and I really mean that. Nobody knows that. Like if you plan for the 0.01%, you will lose. It's basically like plan for another financial meltdown to rip people off. It's like playing the VIX in a way. Like you're playing for like a low bet thing, like a lottery, buying like a lottery ticket thing, right? You should probably play the non-lottery thing. Anyway, it'll make you understand quickly why does Sanaya wear blue? That's Margaret Thatcher, actually. Blue signifies, strong blue at least, signifies tradition, stability, trustworthy. But also that the conservatives, she's going to get shit done, right? Like Thatcher did, right? Red would signify warfare, honestly. So you don't have to worry about that. Um, she doesn't. If she were like really dim gray, it's like she's like a servant or like basically like not gonna do much. Yeah, you understand things like why Japan got the way they are because consensus governments is basically it's a good way when things are going well. Why not? Don't rock anything. Don't rock any boat. Just sit there. Just keep things steady. But when there's big problems, you gotta take action, and that's what Sanaya's gonna do. She's gonna take action. I have full confidence. She's going to put actions where her mouth is, and not just yap, yap, yap. I've seen that a lot in committees. Yap, yap, yap. They don't do anything. They just talk because they like talking. And the winner that is who talks the best or makes the best jokes. I can't stand those kind of places. They make me want to barf, like gag reflex, really. So that's so scattered, right? All this so scattered. I can't even begin to look composed or cool because I'm so excited. It's frontier science, giddiness, not hype. I will run on the street naked if this is all hype. I will. It's not possible. Doesn't mean market won't correct. Currently extended. It could just trade sideways until fundamentals catch up, or panic selling because AI is hype. I think because applications of AI develop more rapidly. I think honestly, there is no big dip. Maybe some panic selling. 2030, not 80 like .com boom. Look, just look at the news. The stakes here. The stakes are high, really high. So they're but the real danger is not dip. It's that there's no dip, and you don't play it. That's the real danger. Danger's not really, oh no, 20% dip. I lost but then it's gonna go up like 10 times anyway in the future. Whether you get in at 100 or 80, I mean, if you care that much, for 1,000, you want 1,000, right? You get an 80 or 100, does that matter like so much? Like that's kind of the idea, right? I mean, the danger is it's 100. You wait for 80, it goes to 120. You got 140, Then it drops down to 120, and then it goes to 1,000, and then you never get in, and that's the danger, right? That's the danger. How can people forecast it? Panic sell. That's really hard. If you could forecast panic selling, you'd be the richest man on earth. But you can forecast long term, right? The reason why people who forecast long term don't get rich right now because they have to wait 10 years. That's the idea. I mean, yeah, to get rich right now, that's hard. That's like either super luck or you're just like an expert trader. You want to get rich. It's not really getting. Yeah, it is kind of getting rich. It's basically like the whole world grows, and you're either part of it, or you're not part of it. You're in a club, you're not part of the club. That's it. It's basically like if everyone was a part of it, no one gets anything, right? But there are some people who don't believe in it, and they relatively get less of the future power or wealth. That's all it is. Do you want to be part of it or not? That's the idea, right? Because everything grows. It's not just AI. Everything will grow. Like those industries that benefit from AI the most will grow. I'm a little more bullish on Apple. Xcode is actually replying to the GPT responses with their own Apple. They make it transparent. I think this is bleeding edge. Even GPT is not aware. I think honestly, like you ask GPT about it, he doesn't know about Apple Intelligence responding back. Bad ads equals bad meme. Make fun of Apple AI. I get it. Their marketing team doesn't get it. That's probably why. But it's also hard to market because we don't know yet. And one application is Xcode talks to GPT. No, more like Apple AI consults with GPT on best way forward, then consult you on direction. That's how it works. It's a different flow. You gotta do it to believe it. You can do the other way, which is like you basically you're the complete operator and you have a question and it gives you a sample code and you copy paste. Very ineffective. So when I was trying to set up the AI environment, it took me about 24 hours. Still did not succeed completely. Partially because I have a GTX 180 and you need like the one after Pascal. I don't know what it's called. You need like an Ampere. You need like a 2000 series at least. And now the 2000 is going to be out of date. And then 3000. Right now, I think 4000 sweet spot. The Ada Lovelace. That one's like the current software stack moves with the GPU. This CUDA. So CUDA 12 is modern. Is the current like the Windows 3 point whatever, back in the day, whatever. It's like the modern. Everyone's using it. Okay, CUDA 11, you're gone. You're gone. Like no one works on CUDA 11 really anymore. CUDA 12 is where the hotspot is. Even having a Blackwell, the newest one, is a disadvantage because the libraries don't match with your GPU. So you're gonna have some problems, some hiccups here and there. Set up an AI environment not trivial. I would rank it about 3 times as hard, maybe 4, as getting an arbitrary IDE setup. Like for example, you want like a Python environment, like a Python IDE or Xcode IDE. It's not easy. That's just the environment, by the way. I mean, you haven't written a single fucking model. Just, I mean, it's not. The thing is, after you have it set up, it's more akin to setting up a factory. It is. It's really interesting. And once you have it running, though, it can be like you pumping out like. I can't explain it. Anyway, look at that. This is all I've learned in like, last few days. Instead of just watching YouTube videos and learning nothing. What problem with YT? Google. Too much noise. Too much junk. It's true. What's junk? Noise. Not source of truth. Meaning that what they're saying is in circles. Buy silver. I'm stocking up on silver. This shouldn't hit your ears. It's cool if you want to be entertained, but that's stupid. Just don't listen to it. I mean, it's just like someone could say, you know what? Okinawa typhoons. There's nothing coming this year. I'm gonna buy silver this year. It's the same thing. It's just so what? It's just like there's like, huh? There's nothing to be gleaned from this other than the fact that you do say this at this kind of time. I can't explain it. If you had a synthesis of something and produce a newer truth, that'd be something to be said. That's what meaningful is. I can't explain it. It's too much junk. But entertainment, right? It's entertainment. Entertainment just means arbitrary content that just makes you laugh, cry, whatever. You want to feel emotion, and it's like a proxy for emotion, right? TV. So something like that. I mean, so I keep looking at it as a way of getting information and learning, but it's one of the poorest sources for learning. Honestly, YouTube videos is one of the poorest. Don't learn investing through YouTube. I did that, and I was misled. It was so hard. If you just spend 3 hours asking good questions to GPT about your investment, not general, just your investments and how you play it out, it's equivalent of watching 1 year of YT and learning how to filter out the shit. It's not even like in the same domain. It's like, I don't know. It's like cleaning your carpet with a vacuum cleaner and microscopically picking off each lint of dirt one by one. It's a difference of that scale. It's absolutely massive. You just have to know how to use a vacuum cleaner. You have to know how to use a tool. If you just ask it, hey, GPT, what's the best stock for this is still stupid. Like, that's an open-ended question. Be more specific. Ask stock, what's the noise right now? Like, what's going on? Hype, no hype, past behavior. You have to understand fundamentals. I don't have to tell you, man. I mean, you can do CFDs and all that shit, but like, why? That's not investing. That's trading. You're playing up the hype. I think investing is basically you play the low frequency trend, meaning that it's like a sine wave going very slowly over a long period, whereas trading is on the high frequency shifts. You see it all the way. That curve. You ever see a curve where it's like, I can't draw it. It's like this. It like gradually goes up, but then but then it comes back down. Like it goes like this, and then it like goes back up again. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you know, like that kind of thing. Like the lower frequency movement is the important thing. And you know what's funny? What's cool? This kind of theory drives everything, right? If you watch sales charts of like sales, it looks like this. My app was like that too. You can't avoid it. It's like a baked-in universal truth. These ups and downs locally are basically like hot trends locally. Weekends, weekdays, fads. Okay. You have like hype, which like guy announces your app to the world. It goes spikes up and down in a very sharp local. It's very jolting. You have overall trend though over time. You have to extrapolate. I believe that's what like the smoothing curve functions are. They identify like the trends. That's really important. Also, music. The low frequency. I think the low frequency movement is the bass, and the high frequency is the it's quite fascinating. It's like signal theory in some way. So investing is signal theory, music is signal theory, sales charts is signal theory. Many things are signal theory, and you got to understand them. And sine waves and overlapping sine waves. Love is signal theory. Hate is signal theory. Competition is signal theory. They're all signal theories. Like it's really interesting. Complex adaptive systems going against each other, how they play out. You get a feel for it. Strategy, game theory, not really signal theory in that sense, but anyway, you can say love is basically like two people are resonating on a certain frequency of thought or whatever, the shared purpose, and then if the phase shifts, then you be against each other very quickly. Explains relationships, how they break down and stuff. Even the theory says that synchronization of signals is very rare and ephemeral. So love is ephemeral, right? Like true love is ephemeral. It doesn't last forever, right? It's like alignment of things on a very short time. It's not just romantic. It could be also like Kobe Shaq cooperating. You see, it's like temporary alignment. It's universal thing that you just can't. I can't put my finger on it. It's fantastic. It's like this encompasses science, computer science, mathematicians, sociology, evolution. All these sciences merge into this thing, and I don't know where this is all going. And that's the exciting part, but it's going somewhere, guaranteed. I can't wait for it to play out. Jesus Christ. And I'm going to go back to